Shame! 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 Dude, what's happening to her? What happened?
So people are now protesting Donald Trump's ICE, and basically this is in Minnesota. ICE just shot and killed someone, and the local people are like, get out of my city. I want to show you guys what's going on. Let's jump right in.
Okay, it looks like they are throwing snowballs as the officers are leaving. So again, I believe it was a state patrol, and we did see some MPD officers who were leaving that scene. Hennepin County telling us that their sheriff's deputies have not been on that scene, but it looks like as officers are leaving the scene, just having some protesters or bystanders, agitators, throwing some snowballs at them as they leave. We saw this earlier.
We did. Well. Yep, we saw this exact thing earlier, and this was targeted toward ICE agents at that particular time. But now, as you mentioned, this is MPD, BCA was on scene, the sheriff's department as well. And as this street is opening up here, you can see a lot of these protesters, these people in the community responding to this. And now we're having an aerial view here of what we have been seeing, what we did see earlier, and now it's once again you can see them throwing some of those snowballs at those vehicles, some of which we can see have just drove off as well.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with you. Get them out of your city. If you don't know what we're talking about, this is the shooting. Fox News is actually showing it to their audience. Just be aware this is disturbing. Let me show you here. It's important to mention with this footage is that the wheels of the car were turning to the right to get out of the way of the like they're gonna claim self-defense, right? The officer like, oh, my life was in danger, but the wheels of the car, I mean, you can see it was turning to the right. I just want to make it clear, so it's crystal clear on this. There was also a doctor on the scene. You have to see this also.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
Hey, listen, we understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second. We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor. You caught your butter in the face. You killed my neighbor. How do you show up to work every day? How the do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors. You're stealing my neighbors. What the man?
And I don't even have words other than, I mean, I'd be right there with, I'd be throwing crap at all these people. I totally understand why people are upset. I mean, this is happening in your neighborhood. Some person's like, I'm a doctor, let me in. So I don't know if the shots alone killed the person or if not getting medical attention. I don't know, but I'm just showing you what's going on the ground. The White House says, oh, we're supportive of this stuff. I'll just tell you this from Fox News. Backing ICE, the White House, that's the Trump people, is voicing support for ICE after a federal agent fatally shot a woman who authorities said used her vehicle to try to run over federal officers. And that's why you have to see the footage for yourself to make up your own mind what happened. There are more protesters is at the courthouse in Minneapolis.
ICE out now! ICE out now! ICE out now! ICE out now! ICE out now!
This is also, I guess, it says a Dollar Tree in Minnesota. You can take a look. Confrontations with CPB agents outside Dollar Tree in Minnesota as Commander Bovino motorcade pulled up. And if you don't know, protesters, or I could just say neighbors, is a better way to say it. People in the locals have whistles to notify others of like when ICE is in the neighborhood, because they're always, these ICE people are just causing chaos. I mean, as the person was saying, you're stealing my neighbors, you're killing my neighbors. This is more.
Portland, and this is Well, we were told that you see some snowballs being thrown at officers.
People are just throwing stuff at him, which I totally understand. I guess they've ID'd the person who was killed. Her name was Renee Nicole Good. She was 37, and I guess she was a mom. And this is her right here. It just says, Renee was one of the kindest people I've ever known, her mother said. She was extremely compassionate. She's taken care of people all her life. She was loving, forgiving, and affectionate. She was an amazing human being. She was a mother, a wife, a poet, and a writer. Rest in peace. This is more from the local news. I guess Governor Walz is saying we may have to call in the National Guard. Just says Governor Walz says he has issued a warning order for Minnesota National Guard to prepare to deploy as state prepares to potential unrest after shooting of a woman by ICE officer in South Minneapolis. I also want you to have different points of view on this stuff, not just mine, not just Trump people. This is just, I think he might be maybe a sports YouTuber or something like that. Listen, this is Swipa.
I am so fed up, and I'm so tired of the otherisms and the pushbacks when I bring this up. ICE is an atrocity. Everything they stand for is an atrocity. And the federal government and Trump administration that put that organization in place is an atrocity. What you are seeing in Minnesota, what you just saw in Minnesota, is a human rights violation. We have so many people that have been so hoodwinked by the propaganda of white supremacy to think that America will be better off without all of these brown-skinned immigrants in this country. That America would somehow be better off if women like that are no longer allowed in this country. They sold you the bill of goods that we're going to get rid of all of the criminals. Well, the criminals live here. We have criminals in America that are poisoning community right now that work for corporations, that work for pharmaceutical companies. Nothing's being done about them. We have criminals right now in America that work in the federal government. Nothing's being done about it. But what they've told you was that the reason why you can't pay for grocery, why your rent is so high, why you can't find a job is because of these brown-skinned immigrants who are everyday people who are working and paying taxes and taking care of this country. It's their fault why your life isn't better. And because of that propaganda and because you believe it, this woman is dead.
I just want to hear different points of view on this stuff. And this is a local person, I guess, right-leaning, and essentially, you know, I don't know if this is MAGA or not. He just calls himself right-leaning. Listen to how he takes it. This is a local person in the neighborhood.
This morning, I was just getting up and I heard a bunch of commotion and whistling outside, and then I heard bang, 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 3 shots. I went to go look out the window, and it looked like there's a Honda over there that crashed, and I found out it was an observer that got shot and killed, and I saw them carry it. I got a bunch of video of them carrying the body to the ambulance and stuff. So there's an observer that got shot at an ICE raid at the house next door.
I'm sure that was a scary thing to witness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty right-leaning, but seeing this is not what you need to do. This is not how to do it. It's not how we're supposed to do things around here in America. So.
What was how many agents and other people were here when that happened?
When it first started, there was maybe 20, but now there's hundreds. And then they got everybody out, so it's kind of crazy right now.
So what he says, I'm pretty right-leaning, but seeing this is not how we're supposed to be doing things in America. This representative, Jimmy Gomez, he says, ICE has shot and killed a U.S. citizen. This is what happens when DHS lowers recruitment standards and rushes an enforcement surge into a city with no plan, no accountability, and no regard for human life. Kristi Noem, blood is on your hands. This is Senator Peter Welch. He says, the videos in Minnesota are horrific. We need real answers and real accountability for the victim and her loved ones. ICE must leave, and everyone must remain peaceful as they exercise their First Amendment rights. Sending ICE into Minnesota against the will of the people created a dangerous situation. Secretary Noem must resign. We'll hear from Secretary Noem. Here is right here. See what she has to say.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such. We will continue to protect our ICE officers and in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies as well.
Yeah, these people are whacked out. But I do want you to hear what they say, give you different points of view on this thing. So they're going to try to make the case that this person was out to ram the ICE agent. And that's why, because we have footage of it, and you can see it for yourself where her wheels are turning to the right, trying to, evade the ICE agent, then it clearly shoots a hole in her whole explanation. This is Senator Andy Kim. He says, I just saw the video of an ICE officer shooting an American citizen. I'm still processing it as it was incredibly disturbing. There must be an immediate investigation. People across the country have been living in fear that a situation like this could happen. We've seen Black Hawk helicopters used above our citizens and aggressive actions used all over our nation. ICE cannot be allowed to operate with such recklessness. And shame on Stephen Miller, Chrissy Noem, and others for pouring gas on the fire by calling this domestic terrorism and seeking to incite escalation. I know I get upset with this stuff. I know everyone else wants to get angry and things like that. I have just a different reaction to things because I care about everyone. I don't want to create a situation where we're just constantly hating and fighting on each other. I want us to be better than this, than what we're seeing. And I always say the same thing, guys. It's all about leadership. Trump has created an environment where it's basically a Squid Game. That's basically what it is, or Hunger Games, if you're familiar with that, to where there's limited resources, limited things, and they basically, Trump makes a fake prize and says, okay, if you follow my rules, you're all going to get $1 million and I'll be rich. But then when you realize what the game is you're all supposed to kill each other, right? That's why I mentioned Hunger Games or Squid Game. And you have to understand, instead of playing their stupid game, you want to change the whole thing, the whole system, right? And that's why I always try to give you guys a different perspective on how to think about this stuff, because don't get sucked into Trump's game. That's what they want. This whole thing is sick. It is. And I'll just say this, something my wife taught me, because if you guys don't know, how can I say, I had a lot of problems when I was young, and it took many years to sort out my anger. So my history, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But she always calms me down and says, that the best way to change things, the best way for justice, right, is go to the courts. I know people are gonna upset when you talk about courts, but this is what we need, like rule of law. You sue people, you have due process, you demand justice in those ways. You say we live in a society that we want rule of law, and this is what I understand, guys. This is what's so terrible about the Trump people, is because they have no respect for the Constitution or the law, and we can't go into the world to where it's just we're all just killing each other with no law at all. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm upset the same way that you're upset. I'm angry the same way you're angry. I'm just saying we need to be better than this and pull ourselves out of this barbaric kind of situation that we're in. It's important to listen to each other, and you can see change. If you need something positive to take out of this, you can see the one guy's like, I'm right leaning, but this is not the way America's supposed to be. So that's my thoughts on that, and I do appreciate you watching, and please stay safe out there. And I'll catch you in the next video.